Just Shannon lives by that.
Oh yeah.
All right, do we have Robby?
Yeah, he's there. Yeah, I'm here.
Hey, Rob. How you doing?
He's in the video. Look at him.
Look at you. Hey, we got video and everything.
Look at that sheen off of that lovely head of his.
That's right, buddy.
Hey, Robby. I gotta tell you, I ordered clippers. I'm joining you. I'm joining you soon. Like,
like all kidding aside, Lisa did the math. She did the math of how much money I was spending on haircuts, like when we were first dating.
Mm-hmm.
Like if I would have continued, and I've saved almost over. It was like almost $2,000. I've saved money. So,
well,
because I do it myself.
Yeah, my sister-in-law is a hairstylist, so I've been getting haircuts for free for a while now. But it's just the total pain in the ass of it. And I've gotten to the point where I just accept that I'm fucking bald and I'm over it. And it's just like, why am I even fucking with hair? Like, what am I doing with my life? Like, Jesus, you know?
Yeah. But, and I'm sorry if I sounded rude earlier when I was texting about us keeping it tight tonight.
Oh, no worries. No, it's all good. Honestly, outside of the Nintendo hack and the PSN or PlayStation leak, there's not really that whole bunch to run through.
Dude, that's like, I know we're going to talk about it, but I never expected within 12 hours of Sony to push and make Naughty Dog go ahead and release the game. Because it's obvious that game was coming out on PS5. They were canceling pre-orders. They were sending refunds. It was a PS5 game. And, if you want a dumb, fun question, Zach, to ask, I can reference that we can discuss. We can reference the Jordan documentary, and we could talk about like what video game or video game story we would like to see a 10-part documentary on.
It'd be pretty good. Also, do you have your Disney bracket available?
In front of me?
Are you able to get it in the next 20 minutes or so? Because I wanted to talk about it because we never did.
Crap. Let me see.
Robby's like, I don't know, do I? And he takes his shirt off, and on his back, it's from neck to waist.
I could have, because I think a buddy of mine had me send him a picture of the bracket like a long time ago when I first started it. Which, by the way, this new animated bracket seems a lot more fun than I thought it was going to be.
You got a lot of wild cards, you know.
Yeah. A lot of fans of Balto. A lot more fans of Balto than I thought.
Well, like we were talking, I think it's skews to the age of the people voting.
Yeah. All right. I've got the bracket in front of me.
Okay.
I got both brackets in front of me.
Oh, we got both day brackets. My buddy Greg, what used to be a bartender at TGI Fridays, and I was hanging out there one night, bullshitting with him while I was drinking beers, and these two girls come up, and one girl's like, "Hey, it's my birthday. I want a shot. Give me a shot. It's my birthday." And she said it was her birthday like 8 times in the span of 1 minute, you know? And Greg goes, "Oh, so it's your birthday." And her friend, like without missing a beat, goes, "It's my birthday too. Where's my shot?" And then a third friend, like from the cuts, who I never saw in the frame until like all of a sudden her head comes around the post, just goes, "Oh, it's both day birthdays." Like that. And it's become this running thing for me and Greg for 12 years now of like, "Oh, it's both day birthdays. It's both." BOF, both day birthdays. It's fucking, awesome. It was so close. And it was just like that. The third girl just scared me because I literally never saw her coming. And all of a sudden her head was just like right there. "Oh, it's both day birthdays." I'm like, ah! It was hilarious.
In a high school, we used to do that with my friend Yoshi. We would go to Hooters, And every time you bet it was his 18th birthday, and they would come and sing to him. And after like the fourth time of like getting his picture taken, he's like, "Please stop." He's like, "I hate this so much."
You're all like, "Hey, you guys want to go to Hooters, get some wings?" He's like, "Nah, no, I don't. I will see you guys later. Thank you."
We're like, "Guess who turned?" Like they come out and they're like, "Guess who turned 18?" And Yoshi's like, "Guys," he's like, "Please stop."
That's hilarious, though. That's good. All right, so we good to go? We good to start?
Yep.
Yeah, man.
All right. Well, let me just make sure I'm not choking on pasta real quick, and we can do this. Hello, everyone, and welcome to That Pixel Life. We're recording episode 89 on August 27th, 2020. It's going to be an interesting show. We got some breaking news today about Last of Us 2 and other PlayStation releases. Got a couple news items, such as hope your Nintendo account is doing okay, and a Pokemon Go update in this COVID era. And some other things to discuss, gaming and culture-wise. And to do that, I have with me, as always, Mr. Shannon Moore.
Oh, how you doing today?
Oh, my back is screaming. I just worked 12 hours, but, life's good.
Awesome.
Thanks.
I mean, I got the news today that we're going to be in quarantine for another month, or shelter in place, I guess is the less harsh term to use. So, that my week started off pretty rough there, but then, I have to look on Facebook and see that somebody created some animated bracket and then put in the first round The Secret of NIMH against How to Train Your Dragon and totally sent me to a dimension of pissed off that I ain't ever been in before. Jesus Christ.
We'll get there. We'll get there because I had similar.
You got beef, bro?
Yeah, oh yeah, dude. I got
beef,
major
bro?
problems with that. Those are two top seeds, and you cannot put them together in the first round.
Hey, Zach.
Mr.
Not do that.
Zach, I can't. Oh, go ahead and introduce me, and then I'll have my response.
I was gonna say, and the maker of said bracket that is causing all this contention within our ranks, Mr. Robert Stoneball.
It's me.
Is this where we're supposed to do? Is this where we're supposed to do the Maui like Robby?
Zach, what did I text you when I was talking about seeding of this 64 animated feature bracket?
You said I'm not worried because there's the sequel to How to Train Your Dragon in there, and that's when I noticed that, like, hey, bro, I'm 41, and I think unless you're within 5 years of me, you don't even know what the hell Secret of NIMH is, and like, it's hands down so much better than How to Train Your Dragon, but
I don't hold on. You know what? We'll talk about this later. Let's get through the video games, and then we can.
And speaking of people who probably don't know what the Secret of NIMH is, and we will find out shortly, I'm talking about Mr. Just-in-Time Carter.
I do know the name, and I'm sure I've seen it at some point. But
this is exactly my point.
I could not tell you what it's about, though. Isn't it about like a little fairy forest?
Oh god.
No, that's what's the fairy forest one?
Fern
Gully.
Fern Gully.
Fern Gully. Robin Williams at his best. Robin Williams at his best.
Wow, I think Aladdin has something to say about that.
I would beg to differ.
Aladdin doesn't have him rap. Just want to put that out there.
Is that that's no.
Can you guys hear me? Because I can't hear anyone anymore.
I can hear you.
I can hear you.
There we go. Okay, I think it was just my headphones. We're back in business. Aladdin might not have him rap, but he does damn near everything else.
It has him sing. Like, he sings. I don't care about rapping. I care about singing. He's got some vocal chops in Aladdin.
It's no Mork and Mindy in another reference Justin won't get, but
No, I do know Mork and Mindy. It's when Robin Williams was the alien.
Yeah. See? All right. Hey. Look at that.
He knows that.
Nanu. Yes. Nanu.
Yes. But no, I guess we can just we've talked about it enough. We should just talk about it now. The animated bracket that Robby has blessed Facebook with. Let's go with that. He's thrown out some opening round matchups. One of them was Secret of Nim versus How to Train Your Dragon, and Secret of Nim is a Don Bluth classic. And Justin, I will let you know it involves essentially a family of rats, and the mama rat husband gets taken to the National Institute of Mental Health, which is what NIM stands for, but you don't know that until about halfway through the movie, and gets violently experimented on. This movie is super messed up, like crazy fucked, and every kid I know saw it. Like in my school, we all watched it multiple times. And it was one of those, I look back now, I'm like, what parent let me watch this? Like, this is like, it's terrifying. There's some like genuinely scary moments, especially for little kids in that movie. And B, it's just, like I said, super fucked. Like, there's so many like twisted, dark things happening in that movie. And you know, the other movie has a guy making a fucking leather wing for a dragon. So,
hold the hell on, okay? Hold the hell on, okay? Let me be very clear of where I stand when it comes to. Look, hold on. About the bracket. If you want to complain about seating, you try putting together 64 freaking animated features, okay, into a bracket. There was no seating. I threw them around like a freaking shotgun and just was putting them everywhere. Because
see, like I would have the losers bracket with like the fucking Baltos and Pebble of the Penguins of the world, you know, like just throw those.
Tim Curry is so good in that movie as the villain, just like he is in freaking. Oh my gosh, I can't. Oh no, that's Disney. Never mind. Great Mouse Detective. The fact that that was not in the Disney bracket, I feel now like I've committed a crime.
And actually, I had a question about the Disney bracket as well. Did you have Hunchback in it?
No.
Because, I was watching that the other day. And
I had 16 apiece. I had 16 apiece. And it was just, it was hard with Disney movies. The Pixar was easy. Hey, keep out Cars 2, Cars 3, and don't put in any other irrational, not needed sequels. You know? Yeah. That's why I didn't put Toy Story 4 in there.
Shots fired, by the way.
When it came to, let's just to the How to Train Your Dragon versus Secret of Nim. Mm-hmm. I apologize that you guys are stuck in 1978 and you don't understand the majestic tale that is How to Train Your Dragon, where a young boy who does not want to kill decides to change the culture that he lives in by telling people just how to love.
Hey, don't you rope me in with those Crypt Keepers, Robby. I've seen How to Train Your Dragon at least 10 times. I can't even tell you if I've even seen Secret.
You were working, so I wasn't really directed at you. That wasn't directed at you. That was directed at these two old timers here who sit on a porch drinking prune juice and just watch the millennials walk by and say, "Boy, do I remember."
The future is now, old man.
That's right.
Hey. First and foremost, this prune juice is delicious. Secondly, I just don't understand how you put up a classic versus the worst How to Train Your Dragon movie.
It wasn't
on purpose. And come at me like this.
It wasn't on purpose. Zach, you know this. How to Train Your Dragon is probably my favorite animated trilogy. Like, it's probably my favorite animated series. I don't vote in this, so the listeners know I don't vote in them. I try to stay as objective as possible. I just count them and post the winners. But like How to Train Your Dragon 2 would probably, if I was making seeding, would be a number 1 seed for me. Like, How to Train Your Dragon 2 is better than Lion King and Aladdin to me. Like, it's that good to me.
But I mean, it doesn't bother you that the voice actor for Hiccup, by the way, Hiccup, That's the main character's name. Hiccup is one of the most annoying voices you've ever heard in your life. Like, it doesn't bother you.
I don't mind Jay. Oh, what's his name?
Baruchel.
Yeah, I don't mind him. I think, to be honest.
Oh, you don't mind him? I have 2 words for you, Robby. 2 words. Sorcerer's Apprentice.
I watched that one time.
Yeah, that's right. Everyone watched it one time and went, "Wow, that sucked balls."
But you can't tell me. You can't tell me by the second one they don't own it. Like they own that his voice is.
Yeah. No,
like
the second one is so much better than the first, and that's not even debatable. Like it's heads and tails.
Like, to me, and this, both these movies are on there, but like I think Shrek 2 is far better than Shrek 1. Like, yeah. Like I think it's to me it's not even close, because Fairy Godmother and Prince Charming just do such an incredible job of being these nefarious villains. But then also, I need a hero playing as 3 Disney princesses run down a tower to save everybody is so dope. It's so good. But no, okay. Hit me with it, Shannon. What other questions you got about the Disney or animated feature bracket? What else you got for me?
Why is it gotta be just a dumpster fire of movies that, like, I mean, there's just so much. There were no easy. I mean, in the Disney one, it wasn't bad. Like, there were some pretty clear winners, some pretty evident winners.
That was a very thought out process.
But yeah, I mean, I would just be interested in what picks you were surprised with, because I know there was, you, like, about halfway through the tournament, you were like, I am completely flabbergasted by how bad some of these some of your friends' movie tastes. Like, I want to know, like, what were the big upsets in your book?
Oh,
I know.
Okay.
I know the big one. You want to know, Shannon?
Yeah.
It was Toy Story winning against anything, let alone the whole thing.
Oh, I know, that movie's garbage. That movie
awful.
is complete garbage. Like, it does not hold up.
No, Shannon. What really pissed me off was when Coco got shut out and Moana got shut out in the second or third round. It was almost like I was dealing with white supremacists the entire time. Justin, you didn't get to see this, and I got your friend request, and I'm going to accept it soon. But Toy Story beat Coco, and like Moana lost to Aladdin. I can't really argue that, but Coco didn't even get out of the second round.
That's rough.
And then one of my friends, and this is why I joke about the white supremacists. One of my friends joked and said, "Get this." He says it as a joke, but I'm like, no, bro, you're a racist. He says something along the lines of get that cultural propaganda out of here. And I'm like, dude, you may be joking, because he said LOL afterwards. By the way, people, LOL does not negate what you said. It's like, with all due respect, you don't get to just say whatever you want, Ricky Bobby. Okay?
Or I'm not trying to offend you, but
yeah.
Here comes some offensive ass shit. Yeah.
But Shannon, I will say this: there were some ones that really rubbed me the wrong way in the first. Like Hercules losing to Little Mermaid. Like, I can't argue that. But which one was the other one that just like infuriated me? Oh, Incredibles is better than Lion King. I'm sorry, but Incredibles is better than Lion King.
Yeah, I don't like Lion King, so my bias would be yes to go towards The Incredibles.
I mean, Zach, come on, man. I'm gonna nitpick the crap out of Lion King, a movie that I very much love. Let me just put it that way. And it was the 3rd overall seed, so it's not like I'm saying it's crap. But Lion King is basically a retelling of a Shakespearean play.
Sure.
Incredibles is original. Genuinely original, and completely turned the entire whole concept of how we view superheroes and families on its head. Also, it's essentially Watchmen if you take away the drug use and the infidelity and all the sex. If you take all that out, it's essentially Watchmen. So I just don't have a problem. I love Incredibles so very much.
Well, I think that's your comic book bias coming through.
Probably. I accept that.
and B, I just can't get on board. Like Lion King, especially when it came out, was just such a movement. Like no one had literally seen anything like that. Like the animation was just on a next level.
And the soundtrack is incredible.
Yeah, and I mean, if we're doing nitpicks. Like you're telling me Simba isn't going to be like some like 40-pound malnourished fucking lion living on grubs for his whole like. He didn't just grab Pumbaa and have a snack at one point in his teenage years. Like if we're nitpicking.
He just went vegetarian. Just really went vegetarian and just hardcore.
The first vegan lion. It's like, nah,
that's right. and also I was surprised. No, the animated one, the new animated one that I'm doing, I am. Like I told Zach this the other day, there are people like no anime film has a chance in this bracket because of my friend group, maybe 10% of them have actually watched an anime film. So like when Your Name, one of the greatest films I've ever watched, loses to Titan AE with Matt Damon and his horrible voice acting, like I'm flabbergasted at that.
But yeah, that's just because literally no one's even heard of Your Name, let alone seen it. So, I mean, that's all that is. Some people voting for the movie that they actually have seen.
Yes.
But I mean, that's the thing is like, I feel, if you're going to go this, like, I like these seeds, but like, I think there is some skewing towards that. Like, if you haven't seen the other movie, you're just going to vote for the movie you saw. Like
Akira is about to lose the Swan freaking Princess.
Yeah, I know. It's bad.
Akira.
But
it is.
But I mean, I'm just saying, like, if I see your bracket and there's a movie I've seen and a movie I haven't seen, I don't vote. Like, I just stay out of it because, like, I just feel I muddy the waters if I do that. It's because it's just based off of a movie I've seen. It's not based off of like which one is actually better. I think there's.
What was the matchup with Kubo? Because that was my favorite one so far.
Adventures of Tintin.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. Yeah. That was my comment on that one. I'm like, one of the best movies I've ever seen versus a movie everyone forgot got made. So,
yes.
like, yeah.
And tomorrow, oh my gosh, tomorrow I'm going to be physically ill with one of them with one of these matchups because, like, I know what's gonna win, because like. So, like I put the Transformers movie in this bracket, the 1980 or whatever film.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going against We're Back, the dinosaur movie with John Goodman. I guarantee you We're Back is going to win because more people saw it when they were kids and addicted to dinosaurs.
Well, I mean, also spoilers. Optimus Prime dies in the movie, right? So, like, I mean,
yes.
That was like a gut punch for anybody in Zach's and my lifetime. It was a horrible thing.
Yeah,
go ahead.
I don't talk about that. I don't talk about that.
I'm looking at the bracket right now. Tomorrow, my heart's gonna hurt because I should not have put these two against each other first round. Legends of the Guardians, the Owls of Ga'Hoole.
Mm-hmm.
I think that movie's dope. I think it's got some of the best animation ever in animated features, but it's going against Spirited Away.
Oh, see you, Legends.
Not
a
chance.
Bye.
Yeah.
I mean, Spirited Away for my money is Spirited Away for my money is my favorite Studio Ghibli film. Like, it just is. I know Mononoke gets a lot of run, and other movies, but Spirited Away just has everything.
And
like,
let me
it's
just
just
tell
so
you,
good.
Zach, it's got the Michigan State of three years ago kind of road to the final to the Elite Eight. But it's going to meet up against Iron Giant in the Elite Eight, buddy. So
why do you hate me?
So yes, so if anybody who is still listening, I've only just started the second section of the bracket. There are still 2 huge sections of bracket to come over the next week, and I cannot wait. Also, quick side note, Kung Fu Panda 2 sucks. I only put it in there because I was running out of movies. And the fact that it won against Road to El Dorado was actually a decent film. Like, again, white supremacists. That's what it is. It's white supremacists.
Well, I think we should share your post to the Pixel Life group so we can get votes of cultured people, not just people from Georgia, to vote on these movies.
What have you heard though? In Georgia, we're ahead of the curve. We're opening up everything. We're opening up bowling alleys and gyms. In the middle of a freaking pandemic.
Essential business like fucking bowling alleys. Yeah. I need a place to smoke and drink Miller Lite while I throw things.
And tattoo parlors are open too. Just throw it out there.
Oh, hey. Essential workers.
I'm not going to talk bad about tattoo parlors because I kind of want to get a tattoo right now.
I do too. I have 3 of them. I want to get the Tree of Minas Tirith from Lord of the Rings, but I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to wait 6 years before things are sterile.
I always say the same thing. I have a lot of tattoos, and I always say the same thing. When you first get that idea, say, yeah, sweet, new tattoo time. Then wait 6 months. If you still think, hey, sweet, great idea for a tattoo, great, do it, get it. But like, don't be the person that's like, oh, I've got a great idea for a tattoo, run out and grab it, and then 2 weeks later be like, oh man.
And also,
maybe should have thought about that one.
Don't get tattoos of characters or shows that you really like in like the 3rd season. Wait until the show's over and see if you still like the character, a la Sansa Stark or anybody Game of Thrones. Let's just wait and see what they do to Dany, and if you're happy with that choice of tattoo.
Your Ned one is probably pretty solid though. You can't really go wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, hey Justin, are you regretting any of your Animal Crossing tattoos? Has playing Animal Crossing just made you be like, damn it, why did I get these?
No, I still love Tom Nook, even though he's just now. But see, now that Red is in the village, Tom Nook's not the bad guy anymore. Now there's someone to hate even worse.
Are you gonna get Timmy and Tommy to like hang out on your arm with Tom?
Dude, what I should do is just get my knuckles tatted and do Timmy and Tommy, but then do Tommy's a little bit smaller.
That'd be pretty rad. And then it should be like Timmy and Tommy, and then on these knuckles, right? Tommy, smaller. Like he's like repeating. Be great. Also, hey, maybe you've given up on life and want to tattoo your hands. I don't know. But that's just the old man in me talking. Don't worry, kids. Tattoo your face. It's a great life choice. Anyway, speaking of great life choices, any of you guys get hit in the Nintendo hack that happened? You guys know about this at all?
What?
Yeah, I saw it. What was it?
Yeah, and the Nintendo Network.
15,000 or however many people.
Oh. The Nintendo Network got hit, and 160,000 accounts were affected by hacking attempts. This is according to The Verge. And so they automatically reset all the passwords on affected accounts. So you're probably going to have to be asked to reset your password. And there were older accounts that were originally 3DS and Wii U created accounts. And so if you've created your account first on the Switch, you're in the clear because there's a different authentication factor that they're using for the Switch that the older systems did not have. But I will tell you, I got hit. I got an email being like, oh, hey, we've noticed a new login into your account. And I'm like, oh, that's interesting considering I haven't done that. Now I logged into my account very, very scared about what was happening there. And thankfully I've made the choice to never store any credit card information on my accounts. So
wow.
Yeah, that happened after I got hit a few years back on, I think it was the PlayStation Store. Someone tried to hack me and buy a bunch of FIFA stuff. And I I just made the choice to always manually enter my credit card every time and not store it with the service. And it hasn't been a problem since. So I changed my password and all that stuff and moved on. But yeah, it was real. And it was kind of the first big security breach that Nintendo's had. But it doesn't seem to really be affecting anyone that is making accounts from the Switch era. It's just, I've had my account since my 3DS. And so I was susceptible, I guess. But I just found it interesting that they didn't they didn't upgrade everyone's accounts. Like, why would they just be like, well, it's 3DS one. Don't worry about it. They're fine. They're not buying anything anyway.
And I bet there's some like 87-year-old head of department A, B, or C, of Z at Nintendo who says, I told you the internet was a bad place to play video games. I told you not to put this on. We told you we didn't need internet connectivity.
Right. Exactly. We're here we are in today's modern age. So yeah, good times.
Well, it's a good thing. I mean, maybe I should write Nintendo because there was a JRPG sale this last week, and I may have bought like 5 or 6 games, so maybe I can say that somebody hacked my account and get some money back because I'm a little broke right now.
What'd you buy?
Well, I bought.
I mean, allegedly. What got bought on your account? Not
yeah,
what did you
allegedly.
Buy,
yeah, there was the Trials of Mana a remake that I bought this week. There was the Dragon Ball World Heroes card game I bought. There was a.
If people are watching this on YouTube, they can see me shaking my head at you.
I know for like $15 it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I've heard it's decent. You'll have to tell me how it is because your boy loves card games.
Yeah, it's good. It's just really I'll get into it later. It's just really text heavy. But yeah, there was a handful of other ones that I'm still getting out, like Bravely Default 2, like I bought just because I wanted to have it on pre-order, even though it's not going to come out until like the end of the year. And then I think there was, I forget what it was. I'd have to go get my Switch, but there was like 2 other games I bought. So yeah, I'm going to be playing some JRPGs for a while, especially since I haven't even touched Final Fantasy VII. But yeah, we'll get into that later.
Let's hear it for poor impulse control. All right.
Yeah. All right.
Now I am not a Fortnite person, and I'm pretty sure Shannon isn't either, but I know Robby is, and I'm curious, Robby, did you check out the Travis Scott concert at all?
I did. I watched the YouTube video of it, the clip of it. I'm gonna be real. I deleted Fortnite off my PS4 a couple months ago.
What?
Yeah.
I thought you were hooked, man.
I was, and then my wife deployed, and then I had to pay. Like, I wasn't really able to do stuff. Like, I can't play with my friends because I have to go to bed early because my son does not give 2 craps about whether I stayed up until 1, shooting folks in the face. And so I wasn't able to start playing, and then Call of Duty came out. And I really started playing that a lot. But then, like I said, whenever Lisa left, like multiplayer online gaming kind of went out the window. But I did watch the stream of it on YouTube. Man, I gotta say, like, you can say whatever you want about the game, whether you like it or not. But that's a freaking dope thing to do. It was so cool.
Yeah. That's the second time they did it, right? Like, didn't they do a concert before too? Didn't like Deadmau5 or
Marshmello?
That's who it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. But I think it's interesting because this seems to kind of is becoming a thing. It's kind of a proof of concept, and you have a lot of bands right now that are essentially not touring. They're not making any money. They're trying to figure out different ways to do it, and Fortnite's giving them an avenue. Did you guys see Minecraft is having a virtual festival? Which I love the name Block by Block West, which is really good.
That's awesome.
And theirs is much more of a like I guess like a punk festival type riot lineup. They've got Pussy Riot, Idols, Citizen, and Nothing, Nowhere, Sir Sly, blah blah blah. But they're kind of the same thing. It's all happening in Minecraft, and I think it's just a cool way to kind of get bands exposure, get them, on a stage, whatever that means, and also like interact with a bunch of fans that otherwise are stuck at home right now with them. So I'm kind of with the whole virtual festival thing. I like it.
The everything virtual is like I'm so curious as to what new normal is when this is over with. And like, not just, hey, everybody wash your hands, like you say you wash your hands, but really wash your hands this time. But like, what happens sports wise? What happens concert wise? What happens, even just work wise? My mom works for the government, and she does, let's just say she's sometimes on conference calls with like senators and governors and stuff, and it's really cool that she has this. But they're starting to realize that they actually may be able to save a ton of money by having people work from home instead of coming into office and working office hours. And so, like, just across the board, I'm very curious as to what things will move to virtual use. And so when we're talking about video games, like, does this mean that we need to start thinking that the internet may all of a sudden get a whole lot better in the U.S. so people can actually get digital games, better and quicker?
I think that's part of it. The other part is, I think a lot of these games are stumbling onto revenue streams that prior to this didn't exist.
Yeah.
Hosting concerts and doing things like that all generates money. Someone gets paid down the road, and generating streams and getting eyeballs on your product is a very valuable thing. And I think that they are discovering this, and it could be a way to help sublimate some of these costs down the road as game developing costs get higher and higher. And I think that it's kind of cool. Like, I just think it's one of those things. It takes something major to make people realize these huge jumps in tech. And sometimes it's a big flashy demonstration. It's like a new airplane or something like that kind of changes everyone's focus and goes like, oh, wow, I didn't even know that was possible. But sometimes it's a bad thing, and it makes people have to adapt and change. And I think that's what we're seeing here. And everyone's kind of discovering a lot of cool new avenues to explore because now they have to. And
I don't think it's a bad idea. I think it needs a growth. I think it's it's an early on thing, and I think there's going to be some growing pains. My problem with it is, like, all of us, we have time constraints, right? Like, if you want to sit down and you want to play the game, like, you have an hour to kill and you just want to play a video game, and Fortnite is your jam. Like, if you happen to log in, like, while this concert was going on, like, it's just seemed like there was no way around it, right? Like, everybody was just kind of thrown into the concert, right? I mean, like, there's not like a way you can. So I mean, that I could see that as being kind of a bummer, like, to some people. Like, sometimes you don't really care about the artist who's performing; you'd rather play your game and shoot people. But I think that's the only downside. I mean, I looked at the streams on Twitter, like, of people putting up the concert, and that thing looked bonkers, bananas, crazy. Like, it looked like an acid trip on my TV. That's great. I mean, that's awesome. More power to you. But, like, if you have a limited amount of time to play a game, I just want to play the game. So I think.
Well, let's also be real. We're old, so we don't have we don't have time. I'm not going to festivals anyway. You know what I mean? It's like I got less than time for any of it. So, to your point, that would be incredibly frustrating. It's akin to being like, oh, I finally got an hour to play some Call of Duty. Wait, why am I downloading 18 updates? I guess I won't be playing Call of Duty. So I get what you're saying there. But at the same time, I don't know. It feels like none of this is for me anyway. So.
Yeah, the Fortnite train came into my station, and I went, nah. And I just kind of turned around and went and did something else. And, it's fine. Like I mean, it's still one of those powerhouses, and that they are redefining what it is to be an online gaming service provider. So more power to them, because I mean they're the ones that are setting the trends right now. So if people like it, keep
and
it.
I just and I guess my main point with the story was I just find it fascinating to see how people are changing and adapting, and this is a really cool way to, I think, that musicians and gaming have found a avenue that seems to work. So I hope we see a lot more of it. And I want to see it at like a smaller scale too. Like not everything needs to be a Travis Scott concert. We can have like the block by block with smaller bands that don't necessarily need to be a 3-day thing or something. It just needs to be like, oh, here's a cool like 20-minute set and we're out, or something like that.
But can we also give credit to Minecraft for like being like a game that pretty much is played by youths and getting a band called Pussy Riot to play?
Yeah, actually, it was like that's pretty freaking cool that they actually and they're like top billing too. Like,
yeah.
oh
man,
they're actually a pretty good band. I mean, they get a lot of shit for their name, but they're pretty good. And the other headliner on that thing was Idols, and if you have never listened to them, they're an amazing punk band. I highly recommend you listen to Idols. They're fun. But I guess the other big piece of news was Last of Us 2 got as of today was shaken loose, and we have a brand new release date, and it's going to be June 19th this year, 2020, which is less than a month from the prior release date of May 29th, which seems interesting considering they were canceling pre-orders and my kids are besides themselves with this news. They were canceling pre-orders, refunds were being issued, things were looking rather dire, and to find out it's coming out less than a month later seems weird, doesn't it?
Yes, it seems extremely weird. I don't understand what it is about Sony. Like they're just what playbook are they following? They're sitting there and they came out last week and their PR response was we're not going to release the game right now because we're reading the climate and the culture of what's going on, and we think it's best that we shelve this thing for a little bit. We'll wait for this thing to die down. And now they're just like, well, like 3 or 4 weeks, that's a pretty good time for people to forget about this disease that's killing half of the world. Like, let's put the game out now. It just, I don't get it. Like, what changed? Like, did they just realize they were going to lose too much money on this project? Did they, think that people were losing interest in their product? Like, I don't know. It seems odd.
Well, one Mr. Robby Steltenpool has a very interesting theory, which I kind of think has some legs, and I will let him tell you it. Robby.
I was like, Robbie's gone off the thing. He just
he
messaged in the group
failed really
chat that
quick.
he can't get back in.
Yeah, I'm just calling him again right now.
All right. I had a whole thing. That was a great segue and everything.
It was. I noted it on the time, so we'll just you just say the same thing over again.
Yep.
Shannon, did you like that Snapchat picture I photoshopped of you?
That was awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
that was really good. I like it.
I went to college to be able to do that.
You must have that degree proudly on your wall.
You know I do.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Oh wow. Okay, there we go. So let me see. Let me add him again. Oh, what does it say? It says he's not on the call. Let's try it again. I'm calling him right now.
Do it.
Do it.
Just do it.
They calling me.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, at least I could finish my dinner now. Yeah.
Cold pasta.
My wife made her Nona's pasta sauce today. Fucking killer.
Nice. Maybe what it is since we're recording, it won't jump back in.
You want to stop the recording and see if we can add him, or
oh boy,
you want to just go?
I don't know. I want to hear what Robby has to say about this. Let's try adding him again. Add. Ugh. Damn it, Robby. Why did he leave?
I don't know. Maybe he got kicked. I'm not sure.
Maybe you upset him, Shannon, with all your bracket bashing.
Right?
It wasn't me that was bashing. I'm just talking about his friends who were horrible at picking good movies.
I was like, maybe Shannon just needs to start bad-mouthing DC. That's what got Robby on last time.
And then Shannon was like, "Fuck that man."
Yeah, he's like, Batman's just knockoff Iron Man. And then Robby kicked in. You see in the background of Shannon's parents' house, Robby kicks in the door and has a tire iron. And he's like, what?
What did you just say?
Yeah, he's definitely, like, with all his backyard workouts right now, he's definitely way more jacked than I am.
Oh, yeah.
Shit, he's probably as jacked as all three of us put together.
I don't know. I did go for a 4-mile hike this weekend.
Oh, look at you. Router crashed, apparently.
Yup.
It was also, in the hundreds this weekend in Arizona, so.
Why? Why do you live there? My God, man.
I didn't ask to be born.
You are of an age that you are allowed to move, sir. Like,
you tell that to my mom.
You're getting married, Justin. Come on now.
Yeah, I was gonna say Justin's mom just built an addition onto the house so they can live together forever.
Yeah, right.
She's on my Animal Crossing island, and she picks up all the seashells for me and leaves them at my front door.
That's awesome.
Hey, is this whole COVID thing fucked up your wedding plans at all?
I mean, that would be implying that there was actual plans.
Okay.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know if or when it's gonna happen, but
go to that courthouse, get it done.
Yeah. I was like, marriage, negative space, feeding my dogs, it's gonna happen at some point. I just don't know when.
Just, it all just matriculates down little bit by little bit.
Yeah, it all just, it'll all figure itself out eventually.
Robby, he's back.
Dude, that was weird.
It sounds like your router crashed or something.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Okay, so we were talking about Last of Us, and I was going to throw it to you for your PS5 theory.
Have you given my hot take yet?
No. So I'll do my lead in again and then toss it to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. You remember what you were saying, Shannon? That I forget how I started.
I said I didn't know what they were thinking, what Sony was thinking about releasing it, and then you said you didn't have an idea, but you knew somebody.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, Shannon, I don't necessarily know what Sony is thinking when it comes to Last of Us 2, but one Robert Steldenpool has a very interesting theory that I think actually has some legs, and I'm going to let him tell you that theory now. Go ahead, Robby.
Just from the friends that I have that work at GameStop that still exist. GameStop still exists, people. I've been told that people have been getting refunds for their Last of Us 2 pre-order on PS4. We knew that they were stopped. Essentially, they had pulled away the date and said it's postponed indefinitely. And I knew that there were some online refunds coming and GameStop refunds that were coming. So it was believed to be like my theory has been for a while now, ever since I heard that, was that Last of Us 2 was almost going to be guaranteed a PS5 launch game. That some other game that they just didn't have, that they thought was going to be ready, and this COVID stuff has just kind of jacked everything up, and so they pushed that game back, and they were going to put Last of Us 2 as the premier game for the PS5. It makes sense. Like, it would be the launch title. Like, launch title for PS5, there's going to be tons of people who buy that game for that system. But now with this happening, like, it almost kind of like confirms it for me, actually, that because of the leak, and because, like, I have not looked at what the leaks are, but I know what the leaks are about. With that kind of stuff leaking, it forced Sony within 12 hours to make them release the game. Like I don't know if y'all saw, but, like, it's bad. The leaks are bad.
It's essentially the whole story. Like, it's hey, do you want to know every major plot point in Last of Us 2? Because you can find it out right now on the internet. It's all there. And I kind of agree with Robby that, pushing it back to PS5 made a lot of sense until all of a sudden they went, oh, no one's going to care about this game because everyone's going to know the entire story once we finally getting around to releasing it in November. So let's just get it out in people's hands. And I don't necessarily disagree with that, but at the same time, it's weird for me that the story got out, and B, that essentially they confirmed it like super fast by being like, oh yeah, that's all accurate. Okay, here comes the game. Like that, by their actions, it's essentially just saying like, yep, that's all true. So
and the confirmation that it's a disgruntled employee, like really just kind of sucks, because like so many people have said, you're not like, if you have a problem with being forced to work as much as you were having to work on the game, I get that, but you just punish not only the company but the people you work for and the people you were making the game for. Like, you just punished everybody, and so, like, yeah, I before I give my hot take, I wanted anybody else to talk that wanted to say something about it.
Justin, you got any thoughts on this?
I was like, I mean, I'm not surprised that it's still, coming out this year, because, it's like with everything losing money by like not being open or not working or like delaying stuff, it's surprising that they'd want to get it out as soon as possible to try and like recoup some of their losses and stuff that they've been taking. So, I
mean, it all stands to, it all makes good business sense to get it out. I absolutely agree with you. It is one of those things though where I think it's just a real bummer that the story that so many people were looking forward to just got out there in the world. And it's, I mean, hey, I'm not a big like, oh my God, spoilers person. It's, my mindset is, if you really don't want to be spoiled, just stay off social media in regards to that stuff. And if you like don't want to have a movie spoiled for you, just watch the damn thing, but it's a super bummer when you don't have that ability. Like, if you're a Last of Us 2, if you're a Last of Us fan, you've been really looking forward to Last of Us 2, and I'm sure you've got, keywords said on Twitter. I'm sure you're following a bunch of people. You've probably are message boards and groups, and you're invested. Well, you're not going to be able to avoid any of that, and you can't just go play it for yourself. You can't just unplug for a couple days and knock it out, because it doesn't exist. So you're just screwed. And that's where I feel it's a real bad taste. It's a real bummer. And I'll tell you, that disgruntled employee is so screwed. Like, oh my God, they know exactly who it is at this juncture, and guess who's getting sued into freaking negative space at this point? Justin Triple, like it's like that poor guy. Like I hope it was worth it, man. I hope you were that mad and you feel justified because your life is gonna really not be fun for a while. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's the major story. So
I mean, also, you kind of have to shame the news outlets that ran with the story too. I mean, I know you're all about the clicks and you're all about getting, people to come to your site and take a look at what's going on. But like this is your bread and butter. Like this is your industry that you are reporting on. I think to hold this a little bit longer would have been better. As well.
Or there was one news story I saw that had the spoilers in the story. It's like, you jackasses. Like, and it was before it was confirmed, but at the same time, it's like, what if they're right? Like, maybe don't post all of that stuff up in case someone who doesn't want to be spoiled is reading it and is just intrigued about, oh my God, it's all dropped. Right?
Yeah.
There's ways to talk about it without like posting everything that is good. I don't know. It was all a mess. But in discussing things that are a complete mess, it's time for Mike Miller's Animal Crossing check-in. So, speaking of complete messes, I was on these very podcast airwaves weeks ago, basically saying how the stock market was dumb and stupid. People shouldn't be doing it. And then I made $2.6 million in the stock market last week. And now went and promptly spent another $600,000 in turnips. So I guess I was wrong. I'll take that back. I'm in deep in the turnips.
Your whole island's just littered with them.
But man, do I have me some bridges and ramps now, guys. Let me tell you. I got a basement that I'm turning into a boxing gym. It's pretty sweet. By the way, I need a red corner and another neutral corner. I've got a blue corner and a neutral corner, so I've got half a boxing ring in my basement. I've got lockers. I've got speed bag. I've got a heavy bag. Got a bench. Like we're doing big things in the basement of my house. But yeah, no, it's been a good week. My son was through the roof because he caught a golden trout, which I began to think didn't exist, but he caught one. So he was through the roof on that. It promptly went into his house with every other fish he caught. And yeah, that's been my week so far. Justin, how's your Animal Crossing week been?
It's been good. I'm very happy that you were able to have a successful week of turnips and not just get hosed. I was like, it's nice to actually experience the bountiful richness of cashing in all those turnips for 4 times, your investment.
Oh yeah, it was a $90 purchase. Thank you, Shannon. Our $90 purchase, and I think I sold at $5.92. So nice. It was very nice.
But yeah, I've been doing good on that. I've been collecting a lot of clothes now, like a lot of the samurai gear and the power suits and stuff like that.
Nice. Nice.
Red in the new update, the Earth Day update stuff. Since Red came, I started purchasing some artwork, and I bought a bunch of bushes from the sloth, so I started laying a bunch of bushes everywhere, and I regret not buying more because I thought he was going to be there for the entire like Earth Week time, and I'm like, no, he's gone. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I should have bought more. I have to wait for him to come back.
I bought 2 paintings from Red, and they've both been counterfeit. F that guy.
Dude, all right. I have a giant thing that I got off Twitter that has all the artwork and statues and shows you the real one and shows you the fake one and tells you what you're looking for. So gotcha. Red isn't going to host, because there's times like when I went into his boat there was actually 2 of them that were legitimate at the time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but you can only buy, interesting fact too, so you can only buy 1 piece of artwork per day, but like with like, you have like your family on your island and stuff too, they can each actually buy 1 per day as well. So it's like you could each buy 1 if you wanted and then donate it to your museum. Of course, they won't be donated by you. It'll give them the credit for donating it or whatever, but that way you can purchase multiple pieces of artwork if he has the legitimate ones.
Gotcha.
And he sells furniture and stuff too, which is nice. I don't remember what furniture he had that I bought. It was like it was a table. It was like a little, but it was like a nice like dark table because now I'm going for kind of like a black theme in my house and stuff. And so he had this nice little short black table, and I'm like, that'd look good in my living room. So
yeah, I had a goth puppy move onto my island.
You had a, what's her name? Cherry? I think that's her name.
Yeah, Cherry. She's rad.
Yeah, she's
super rad. So Cherry's my girl. I'm happy to have her on the island. I just got a goth-ish looking elephant guy too. But so I've almost got all the residents. I'm only 1 away from all the residents at this point. So we're working. Shannon, how's your island going?
So I put in a lot of money in turnips last week and made a big return, pretty big return, and I went balls deep in like coke and hookers, and I have no money. I have no money anymore. I'm out.
You blew it all.
It's all gone.
You went bells deep.
I went bells deep, if you will. Yeah, it's poor money management on my part. Wasn't able to buy any turnips this week. I gotta build back up again, guys. So, yeah, I don't know what is going on with my luck in video games, but it just seems like whenever I get these games where it's just like luck to catch certain things like fish or like rare fish, like my luck is the worst. So I don't have any like really cool like rare fish. I caught like 1 oarfish like in the beginning, and like that's like the last time I seen that thing. Like no rare fish, no rare bugs. Like, I mean, I don't have enough money to buy anything from Red, the sloth, man. He was there for like a minute. I went to take a crap. I came back. He was gone. I'm like, what the hell? Where'd this guy go? Like, it's been a rough week for my island. The only thing is like, I mean, like, people on my island are like DTF, man. Like, I got like a male deer and a female deer. Like, they're probably just gonna be like smashing soon. I got like this chick penguin. I got Tex just moved into the island. Like, they're over in their corner doing their thing. I'm like, dude, like, just running around on my island while everybody's in the bone zone, and I'm just here with no money, like no status, no nothing. Like, I'm out.
Dude, I like how you can't afford anything from Red, even though it's like 4,000 bells. Like,
I don't have that much. I don't
you
have
can literally sell like 20 apples and afford, and yet you don't even have that. You're sitting there like a little appleless cuck with like.
It's like,
I want everybody on my island to like me so much. I'm just giving away everything to them, so they just kind of stay.
And then they're all like, "Ooh, he's poor," and then they leave you.
Go catch 3 fish, man. Jeez, what are you doing?
Oh man.
All right. Well, that sounds like a fun week of Animal Crossing.
We're gonna see what theme song from Mike Miller's Animal Corner.
Yeah, we'll see what Mike wants to put on there. Well, it's pretty good though.
KK Bubblegum.
Yeah, there you go. I did like seeing all the KK Slider artwork this week when it became a thing on Twitter for a hot second, where everyone was turning real album covers into KK Slider albums.
Yeah, there were some really good ones.
Yeah, the Joy Division one I saw was really good. There was a Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell cover where the three angels were all KK Slider sitting there smoking, which I thought was really good. But I guess we'll move into what we're playing, because playing all this Animal Crossing in my house and my son being super into it, I had I don't know if it's genius or pure insanity, but I had a moment where I'm like, oh, you know what game I have installed on my Xbox that I haven't fired up in, I don't know, maybe before my son was born and he's 6? Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise. So I thought he would really enjoy it. And I talked to him and I'm like, look, the controls on this thing are awful. Like, I will play it, but you can guide me and then watch me, and eventually maybe you can figure out what to do and take over. And he's like, okay, he's ready. And I was 100% right. The controls are still awful, and my son loves that damn game. Like, he is so excited by like everyone that shows up, by every animal, every seed we get, how we plant them, what they attract, what then eats whatever shows up, the circle of life that exists in Viva Pinata, and that game is just rad. Like, it's so fun, and you can lose so much time so quick because it's just kind of similar to Animal Crossing, where there's always something to do. There's always something to do with Viva Pinata, and they're very smart about it. I would almost argue there's too much to do in Viva Pinata. Like, if I was going to make a new one right now, I would scale back on some of their stuff by a bit. Like, there's no time really in that game to even think. It's just one of those like, oh, the seed's going, oh, this animal's coming in, oh, that thing's getting eaten. Oh, okay, I've got to build this house. Okay, I got to go over here and do this. I got to go. It gets really overwhelming. And the other thing I've totally forgotten about that game until I played it the other night was the interruptions while you're trying to play, and it's like, okay, I'll level up. Okay, here's a cinematic about the level up. Here's a cinematic about the new shovel. Here's a cinematic about the new animal that's showing up. Here's the cinematic. And it's just one thing of another after another. It's like, can I get back to just playing the goddamn game? Like, you don't need to just interrupt me every 10 seconds with this. And that gets better as you level up in the game. So it becomes less of a nuisance. But man, that first 2 hours of playing is just like, just stop bugging me. Just, this can be a little pop-up while I'm playing. This doesn't need to be a full cinematic that's interrupting me every time. But that game's still awesome. That game is 12 years old now. I was stunned to find that when I booted it up and I saw the copyright on that was 2008. And I was like, wait, are you serious? And it's awesome. It's still good. If you're looking for something that gives you an Animal Crossing vibe, but is way more complex than an Animal Crossing, but still gives you those discovery feels and vibes, I highly recommend Viva Pinata still. But that's all I've been playing outside of Animal Crossing and their usuals. So, Justin, what do you got?
Man, like, I think it's pretty crazy that we actually probably, I think, all three played something besides Animal Crossing this week.
Yeah, I felt the need. I was like, okay, I have to do something other than Animal Crossing at some point.
Yeah, so I played 2 different games besides Animal Crossing this week. My first one was Damaged in Transit, which is a new indie game. It's on Steam and also on the Switch. It's pretty cool because I actually played it when I went to Indiecade to show my game and stuff. It was one of the other games that was being shown at Indiecade, and I stood there for probably a good, I'd say like hour and a half playing the demo, and I was on the very last level of the demo. And I just could not beat it, but my hands were like so sweaty, and I was just like, and I was like, all right, yeah, I'm done. Like, I do want to go explore other stuff, but so then when I saw it was coming out on the Switch this month, I was like, oh man, that's the game for me, because it's like single screen, it's a puzzle game. Okay. You play as this like construction worker looking dude, and he just kind of stands there, and you have these 2 robots that are constantly moving, and they're in different positions and whatever, and you're basically just using the direction keys, and like there's certain switches like, okay, like once they hit this arrow, they're gonna move, it's gonna move up now, and then you're like, all right, then left or down or whatever, and but it's like you're having to keep track of both robots at the same. So it gets kind of chaotic because you're like, oh shit, like he needs to go up, he needs to go left, and then there's like spikes. But it's like every time you hit one of the arrow buttons, it's like the spikes pop up. You hit the arrow button again, spikes go down. So then you're having to keep track of. You're like, all right, straight, fuck, hit it again. You're like, all right, I need to get the keys. I need to. So there's like many times where it's like I died because I was watching the wrong robot because I needed to be watching the other one, and I was like, fuck. I'm like, all right, one more, and then try it again. But it's one of those where I love it. But it's also like not necessarily the game I want to be playing at night when I'm trying to relax and go to bed, and I'm just getting pissed off. Like Megan was like sitting there, she's like, "Why are your fucking legs wiggling all in the bed?" Okay, I'm like kicking the bed. I'm like, "Fuck!" Like when I kept dying, I'm like, she's like, "Can you stop doing that?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
She's like, "Please, for the love of God, turn this game off." Like.
Yeah, but like the graphics and stuff are cool. It's like pixel art-ish and stuff, like kind of like Super Nintendo looking and stuff, and it's pretty fun. You know, it's like a fun play, a couple levels, get mad, quit, go back to it. You're like, all right, I'm gonna do it this time. So
yeah, I'm watching the trailer now. It's like a pretty Super Nintendo type game. It kind of has that aesthetic, but it's very much in a modern palette as far as colors go and stuff.
Yeah. But yeah, so
how much did that cost? Because this looks like something I would want to play, actually.
Yeah, it's I think it was like $14.99.
Okay.
And stuff. Yeah, and I had like $3 of the like Nintendo eShop credit and stuff, so I think I ended up paying like $11 or something like that.
Nice.
That's in that murder. Yeah, $14.99. That's right. That's in that murder by numbers price point for me.
Yeah,
so,
it's in that sweet spot. So yeah, I've been playing that. And then, so the other game, I've played it before, but I've been playing Hotline Miami.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
And it's because I picked up the Hotline Miami 1 and 2 collection when it was like half off during one of the eShop sales. And I've never played 2, but I've played and beaten 1 probably like 3 times now. I think I played the first one originally on Steam, and then I got it on PS3, and I played it again, and then when it was on PS4, I was like, all right, we're tripling down on this bad boy. So, but it's one of those things where I don't know if you have that, but because it's in the collection of 1 and 2, even though I've played 1 and I've beaten it 3 times, I still feel obligated that I have to beat 1 again before I play 2.
Well, and it's easy when it's one of the a game you obviously love. You know, it's like, well, if I have to knock one out, I guess.
Yeah, so
and also one of the all-time soundtracks. Dude, that game's soundtrack is amazing.
It does not get old. But then again, it's also one of those games where, again, last night playing it, I was still kicking the fucking bed. Like, you just like run in. I'm like, all right. I'm like, I got the like cougar mask on. I'm gonna run in, just punch this dude in the face, like instant KO him, kicking the door, like getting ready to punch him. Bam! Kills me dead. I'm like, what? I'm like, why? I just keep doing it over and over. My favorite mask, since you guys have played, like, what's your favorite? Like, my favorite mask, I think, has to be the horse, where it's like doors kill, and it's like I'll sit there and just like fire a gun behind the door to lure people, and as soon as they open the door, just hide behind the door and just hit the door in real quick, and just get like 3 or 4 of them in a row, just at the door, just boom, 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 boom.
That was pretty good. To be honest, that's a game I really want to go back to. I don't know if I ever beat it. I played it like hot and heavy for like a week and a half, and I think I just moved off it into something else. But yeah, I've listened to the soundtrack more than I've played the game, though. That's Shane, did you ever play Hotline Miami?
I did. I got maybe like 4 or 5 levels in, but I kind of did the same thing that you did. I think there was something else that came out, and I just lost interest. But yeah, I
should look up what came out right around then, because it was something that pulled me off it. I remember that being like, oh, I would play this, but now this is out. So
I want to say it was like I personally was playing it like around the time Splatoon 2 came out or something. I want to say I want to say that's the time frame for me. Like,
Okay.
there was I don't know. Like I know I didn't play it right as it came out. It was like something that I waited on, and I think, I did play it on the Switch. I think so. It had to be around that time.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know for sure. It was a good game though. Like I did like the mechanics of it. I liked it better than Party Hard, which kind of had a similar vibe. But I did.
Party Hard was a cool idea though.
Yeah.
Like, it's one of those. I kind of wish someone would expand on it a little more.
Did either of you ever play Katana Zero?
I've seen it, but I haven't.
No, I didn't. So Robby, who unfortunately had to leave us tonight with some internet issues, but he has played that. I know, and he was talking that one up to me.
Yeah, because I know Party Hard tried to capture what Hotline Miami did right, but it didn't quite do it as well. Or I feel like Katana Zero basically captured that aesthetic well, but it still does kind of its own thing. But the soundtrack for Katana Zero is also a banger.
Okay, all right, I will check it out for sure. You play anything else, Joseph?
No, I mean that was it for me. Just that, Animal Crossing, and Damage in Transit.
Gotcha. Shannon, what you got?
Well, okay, so this week, after being dejected in Animal Crossing, I did download the Trials of Mana. I was looking forward to that one a lot. I did not get to play the original, so this is my first time playing through it. I do like what they've done with it. I've seen the screen captures from the first game to this one. It is definitely a severe step up. It does fit into my wheelhouse. I do like the fact that there's voice acting, so I don't have to read all the text. It just the voice acting is done fairly well. The action in the game, like the attacking and the dodging, there is a little bit of I think it's not a large learning curve. It's a very subtle one, and it's not anything to do with the mechanics. It's the timing of the game. You can't really attack. It's not as fast. You can't attack and then dodge out of the way real quick. You have to your attacks have movement, right? So, you have to kind of forecast, if you see your enemy starting to attack, okay, I need to dodge now. I can't just squeeze in a light attack and then dodge.
Okay.
So that took me a little while to get used to, but I like the game itself right now. I haven't gotten too far into it just because I've been kind of scattered trying to find what game I actually want to dive into when I'm not doing Animal Crossing. So like I was telling you, there was a sale. I did buy the Tales of Vesperia. That was the one that I got. So I downloaded that, and I also downloaded the Super Dragon Ball Heroes World Mission, and that was on sale for $15. So I wanted to give that one a try. It was 80% off, so I was like, well, you're not going to go wrong or 60% off. I'm not going to go wrong for that price. So I downloaded it. The Dragon Ball game is decent. The card battling portion of it is fun. The graphics, I feel, suffer a lot in this game. They do, the typical, kind of, they try to do a cell shading kind of art style. But with a 3/4 view, sometimes with a lot of the characters, they just seem kind of wonky and kind of weird. And the fight sequences, you create your deck, and then you have a board, and you can choose how far up the character is going to go to attack. And the farther up you go, the more stamina they use, the stronger the attack is. And then the farther back they are, the less stamina they use, and they're not as effective, but they still kind of attack. So it's kind of like a strategy to where you're trying to attack the opponent, but not deplete your character's stamina so that you don't have enough to attack the next turn. So, you don't always want to have all your characters attacking. Sometimes you want to have 3 of your characters up front and 2 of them kind of supporting in the middle tier. If you get enough people to the front and you fill up your power gauge, you do a super move. Everybody on your team does a super move against one of the enemy's characters. So there's some strategy there that I do like about the game. It just sucks that I wish there wasn't, the art style didn't suffer, because that's where it gets really hokey. Also, there's no voice acting in the game, so you're doing a lot of reading, and there is a lot of storyline and plot and control schemes and strategies and a lot of other nuances that they're trying to get you to understand very early on in the game. So it can be you feel like you're learning, you're reading an instruction manual or getting your hand held in a severe fashion before you actually start getting to play the game. So if you can make it through that, for $15, I definitely think it's a good purchase if you're a Dragon Ball fan. If not, it's probably a game that you can just bypass. Also, I picked up this indie game. It's called Super Pixel Racers.
Okay.
So it's basically a pixelated kind of like 3/4 view, I guess, racing course, and then you get to choose the type of car you want, whether it be like a beginner class or like an advanced class. And then you basically have gas and drift. And basically it's just you racing against all these other cars, and you can just jump into like a one match like type. But it's really picky about your you really have to feather your car and learn that control scheme, learn your car, learn how it drives. And those the AI characters are not forgiving. They are going to make you learn that course. If you really want to win, you need to get good at driving your car. It's fun, it's quick, so you don't really feel like you're investing a lot of time to not get anywhere if you don't win. And I think it was really cheap. I think it was $9. So if you want like a little pocket racer, the reason I bought it is because I saw it and I kind of thought of RC Pro-Am like back in the day, and I said, that's kind of a game I want to get into. And it had like a pretty unique art style, and it looked fast paced. I do like it. It would be good if I was bored and I just kind of wanted something to do for like 5 minutes. But I think if I wanted to do this for a longer period of time, I think it would be like what Justin was saying. I'd be kicking the bed, because I would probably clip a corner too tight, or take a turn too wide, and then you got 4 cars passing you. So that's kind of where I've been at with the games this week, as far as what I've been playing. I was actually surprised. Picross 4 came out this week, and I didn't hear anything about it from you, Zach. Or have you given up on it?
No, I have not. After beating Murder by Numbers, my Picross lust has not been satiated, but the lack of Switch in my hands makes that pretty hard. So I would love to get the new Picross game. I would also love to just have my Switch at some point. And it's always in the hands of my wife or my kid. And when they let me play Animal Crossing, then I get to play Animal Crossing. But other than that, hey, Shannon, by the way, I figured out what the game was that pulled you off of Hotline Miami. What? You want to know what it is?
What?
And I think I'm actually right, because I remember us recording a show about it.
Uh-huh.
It's an awful game, if that helps you.
Oh, okay.
It's a little game called Astral Chain.
Oh yeah.
That came out 2 weeks after Hotline Miami.
Yep.
On the Switch.
Yep. You're right.
Yep.
Have you beaten that, Shannon?
No, I got about halfway through it. I probably need to go back and start that game over, because it was pretty.
Do not lie to us. You are going to do nothing of the sort, sir.
You're right. With all these games I got on my Switch, I'm not going back to that game. I might as well just delete it.
So Justin, it was a great. It was a good 2 to 3 week run where Shannon would come on and talk about Astral Chain, and every time would be less excited about it, and kind of bummed. and then he just stopped talking about it. And it was
No.
like, oh, you just stopped playing Astral Chain, didn't you?
I was like,
oh, okay.
I remember because I was listening, and it's like I remember the first episode when he actually played it, and yeah, he gave like a 10-minute synopsis on it and all the cool stuff. And next week, like, yeah, how's Astral Chain going? And he's like, yeah, I haven't made too much progress, but just doing whatever. And then it's like, the next week you're like, so how's he? Like, yeah, so I bought like 2 more Switch games. He's like, yeah, Fire Emblem. I've been playing Fire Emblem. And then it's like 2 weeks later, you're like, oh, how's Fire Emblem? He's like, so Party Hard was on sale.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but you know what? I still like Fire Emblem. I still go back to it every once in a while. I'll play like one match, and I'll be like, okay, I got my fill. I need to space it out. It's going to be a while before the next one comes out. That's what I keep telling myself.
The Nintendo Switch, where Shannon Moore loves to play half a game.
I'm good. I know. What we're halfway through the year so far. Like coming up to halfway through the year. How many games have you beaten?
3, I guess. 'Cause I've beaten Ori, I've beaten Murder by Numbers, and I could have swore there was one other one. Maybe it's just 2. Maybe I'm only at 2. I don't know.
Justin, how many games have you beaten this year?
I was like, does rolling credits on Animal Crossing count?
Yep.
Sure, yeah. I'll do that one.
At least one.
All right.
Yeah.
He's got 1.
Yeah. I was like, I would have to look on my Switch and even... But yeah, I know. It's definitely... I'll tell you right now, it's probably... I know it's less than 5.
Yeah, the reason I brought this up is because I have beaten 0 games this year so far, and we're halfway through. 0. Wow. I have not focused on one single game enough to beat it yet this year.
Speaking of, so since we are about halfway through the year, how's your Game of the Year list shaping up?
I don't know. All right.
Well, I mean, so far it's kind of rough because with a lot of things getting pushed, I expected more games to be out by now, but for me, right now, Ori's on there. I don't, as much as I joke, I don't know if I could actually put Murder by Numbers on there because it's essentially Phoenix Wright with Picross, and I don't know if that's enough to put it on a Game of the Year list, but it's rad and the music's super cool. I'm lying to myself. It's probably totally gonna make my list, and I can't seem to get a copy of Resident Evil 3 delivered to my house. It's been delayed twice now, so I don't know. Yeah, I was hoping to have Resident Evil 3 to play this week, but I don't have it yet, and it's really annoying. So other than that, I mean, that's probably the only 2 that are locked in for me. And what about you, Justin? What you got?
Well, I know Animal Crossing. I don't know if Animal Crossing can be number 1, but I know it's going to be up there.
Yeah.
It's Animal definitely going to be top 3 for sure.
Negative Space, of course.
Yeah, that's always number 1.
Number 1, yep.
Also makes me kick the side of the bed.
Yeah. Would you think Final Fantasy VII is going to make it, Shannon?
Yes. If I could play more of it.
The conviction in your voice is just...
the hesitation where he's like...
I know.
Yes. I still want to get back to that game. It's just the problem is my life has become so busy. I want to go back to being like 16 again, where I can sit down and eat Cheetos and just play this game all day.
Yeah, I'm one of the people that everyone got told to stay home and work from home, and somehow I lost all my free time. We all have those annoying friends that are like, I'm learning how to do macrame, and I'm baking every single day, and I'm learning all these new hobbies. I'm like, I can't find the time to shower. Like, what the people? It's super annoying.
I go to the bathroom 16 times a day, so I have time to myself.
Right? Just to get away from your kid. You're like, Dad needs 5 minutes. Just leave me alone.
Yeah, and then like they stick their hand under the door, they send that car under the door, and they want you to roll it back to them while you're dropping a deuce. You're just like, dude, give me a minute.
Bro, just back off, please.
Yeah, it's
good times.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
Love the Corona.
Well, I guess on that wonderful note, that's about all we got on the show. So.
Yeah, I was like, Shannon's pro Corona over here.
Right?
Yep, I'm rocking it. Like, everybody stay at home. I don't want to see anybody anymore. I like this FaceTime call or the Skype calls with you guys. This is all I need.
This is all you get.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap it up, huh?
Yeah, I think
some good audio right
here. I think recording these on a Monday night is bad. Like, Shannon's energy looks like he's about to fall asleep in his chair.
Yeah, I just had like a half of a cube of meatloaf, so I'm letting that food baby digest right now.
Yep. Sinking like a stone, just like his will to live. But hey, it's cool.
Just like my desire to complete a video game.
Yep.
Sinking like those Lysol wet wipes that Shannon's been eating to try and kill the coronavirus.
Yeah. I mean, we all said he shouldn't be injecting Lysol while eating Tide Pods, but you can't tell a man what to do.
Yeah.
But I won't. I'm 40 now. You can't tell me nothing.
And if they didn't want me to eat the Tide Pods, they shouldn't have made them so tasty. That's all.
They shouldn't have made them look like candy. Damn it.
I love and I'm proud to be an American.
I'm like, Shannon, do the outro for fuck's sake. Like,
nobody's led into my outro yet. All right, I'll do it. I'll do it right now. Thank you, Justin, for
Shannon.
What?
I'll let you take us out.
All right, hold on. How does it go again? Oh, yeah.
Man.
I think
all
Justin,
right.
if looks could kill, Justin would just murder you. I swear to God. Like, when you were like, wait, how do we do this? And his head just like slowly turns to just like death rays emanating. Just
Oh, well, this has been an entertaining 5 minutes of audio. So thank you guys for...
How much of it makes the final cut?
I was going to say, thank you now. If you're still listening, if you're one of the 2 people still listening, thank you for listening to this far into the show. You can follow us on Twitter. You've heard our handles by now. I think it's Zackle at on the Twitters and Schmore0317 on the Twitters, and Justin's what's yours, Justin? You're still new to the show. I haven't gotten your handle down yet. What is it?
It's Just in Time Carter, but without the E in Carter.
Nice, gotcha. And do you have any updates on your negative space?
So I did work on it this weekend. I got a new level done, which was funny. So it's like, the way I do levels, like, usually there's like something that I want, like, I'm like, this one thing, I'm like, I want that to happen, and then I kind of build the level like around that. And I was trying so hard to get it to work, and it just was not coming out how I wanted it. And after a while, I was just like, all right, I'm like, this isn't anything that I wanted. So I scrapped the entire level, rebuilt it again, completely different, and it worked out. So that's a lesson for you kids. If it doesn't work and you try to make it work, start again.
Improvise, adapt, overcome. Exactly. I like it.
And sometimes all you need to do is completely tear it all to the studs.
Exactly.
And then it all comes. Yeah.
Yes. Words to live by from Zach Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I digress. Thank you guys for listening. Get on wherever you download this illustrious podcast, and leave us a 5-star review. Tell us how we're doing. Let us know what you want us to improve upon. If you want me to talk less, just let it know. I'll only cry for about 5 to 10 minutes before I get over it. But yeah. join us on our Facebook group, That Pixel Life. You can see Robby's brackets up there. You can see any news articles that we're dropping on a daily basis. We have a pretty lively group up there. We all love games. We love movies. We get into some pretty fun debates. So check us out. And Zach, what would Robby say if he was here right now?
Why did I ever agree to be this show?
Well, aside from that, what else?
Oh, Robby would say, hey guys, be great.
Secret of Nim for life, yo.
Right?